Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where we review anything and everything. Today we're getting into another Marvel Legends review. This is of a Wolverine figure. And first I want to make note to say that this is a boxed review. As of right now, all of the figures that I purchased that have a clear plastic box display, I want to keep inside the box. So I'm sorry if for anybody who's looking for a um, unboxing opened type of review of the figure, this is not the video to watch for that. So I want to give you guys that heads up in advance. Apologize for that for those who are expecting that. Like I said, right now, as of this moment, they're being used more as a collector's item. If I decide at some point to open them, I will do an additional review of the open figure, unless it's one where the box, they have new box designs where the box is actually like just completely covered, like with just the paper material over it. There is no display. In those ones, I will generally open because you can't even see the figures in the display. So that being said, this is part of the Build-A-Figure BoneBreaker wave. Sorry about the angles of the camera. Right here, you can see some of the art on the side. Wolverine. This one is of the heated Wolverine, heated claws Wolverine. So here, his claws are supposed to get heated up like fire. You guys can see this. Pause it if you want to read this. Suddenly resurrected and bearing superheated adamantium claws, once again Wolverine must fight to reclaim his freedom and his mind. Now, I'm not familiar with that storyline, but I do want to say that I felt like this figure, especially for the time of this video, is one of the more affordable, really good Wolverine figures, in my opinion. One, you get a very nice face sculpt. You also get the masked head, because some Wolverine figures, which I'll do a later review on a different Wolverine figure that I actually purchased around the same time as this one, actually at the same time as this one, only has two non-masked head facial expressions as opposed to one where it's masked and unmasked. And I think obviously someone like Wolverine, though sometimes nice having various expressions on the other figure that I'm going to later on show, or just in general, some Wolverine figures that have two unmasked heads will sometimes have one where he's calm and sometimes have one where he's growling or snarling, whatever the case is. And though that's great, I think the default is you always, with Wolverine, you definitely want to have at least one masked head and one unmasked head, at least in your collection. Because obviously those who are familiar with Marvel Legends knows that the heads are swappable, though not all the time are they very compatible. But that's a whole different story. So this was nice, I think, as one of the most definitive Wolverines to have at the time. Now, right after, and I heard of this Wolverine because this is an old one. In general, it's been out, I think, over a year or whatever the case is. The one I bought later, which I'll review later, is the 275 Wolverine from the X-Men cover 275. For those who are familiar with that one, it doesn't have a masked head. And I just want to mention that, like I said, by default, for the time that I purchased this before, I noticed the other one that I right away purchased that one afterwards. Like I said, I'll get into that review separately. But I felt that this one, in terms of the design, in terms of the way it looks, in terms of the claws, are very, they look a lot more sturdier than some of the claws that come on certain Wolverines. And I just wanted to say that it definitely had, I felt like this was just very much like one of the best overall figures that you could get into your collection while still being relatively affordable at the time of making this video, which was, well, I bought it. It will say like maybe about 2 weeks before making this video, and at the time this was about maybe 25, somewhere between like around like the standard price, but it definitely wasn't more than 30. I think it's gone up a little bit since, but I'm sure it will come back down. So I definitely recommend someone jump on this where they still can. This is obviously not the standard um, X-Men uniform. It looks similar to it, I think, but I think it's a little bit different. I could be wrong. I think that his traditional outfit for X-Men is more yellow with black stripes coming on the side without that blue, then giving it yellow stripes. So that extra blue there kind of throws it off from being the normal design, but it still gives you close enough. And I just think it's a really nice um, figure. It does have the pegs in the knees, which some people will be told the whole pegless versus having pegs, pegless in the arms and whatnot like that. But I'm new to the collecting, so to me, I don't look at it as a big deal. Some people might, I guess, if they've been collecting for a long time. It is an evolution in the way the figures are done. So, just wanted to point that out. And here is the BoneBreaker Build-A-Figure line that comes with it. What's funny is Wolverine. Sometimes they always have this in the line, and I don't know why they do this. They'll have one figure who doesn't have any of the parts that go to the Build-A-Figure character, and I don't know why they do that. One of the other figures I reviewed was a Thor for its Build-A-Figure line, which went to the controller. If I'm saying that correctly, he's a guy all in blue, and Thor was the figure that didn't contribute to the Build-A-Figure parts. Now, what's interesting to me is, at least in that line with the Thor had so many things about him. He came with two ravens. He came with his hammer. He came with a lightning effect. He had a like his cape on him. His drapes on his outfit, whatever. It really felt like there was a lot to the character, and he was a standard price character. So that kind of made sense of why he was the character that didn't come to me, at least, didn't come with any parts to the Build-A-Figure. In this case, Wolverine really only has just an additional head. So for that reason, it's not like he has a whole ton of accessories that you would say, well, this is why he's the figure that doesn't come with, any additional why he doesn't come with, I'm sorry, like the parts to the Build-A-Figure, because he has all these additional accessories. He's not that guy. So I thought that's kind of funny. And then also too, I just want to point out Vulcan, because I've seen a lot of reviews where people say about how a lot of characters take the design of Vulcan's body. I guess it was a very generic, good, neutral body to use. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But yeah, I definitely recommend the figure. I think he's great to be someone's default Wolverine. I get the whole heated claws might not be someone's thing, but if you can just imagine that this is just blood and the claws are freshly coming out, yes, there's still a little bit of like this kind of translucent type of effect on the claws rather than like a silver, but I still think you can get away with just saying that there's still metal claws with blood coming on them. And that's fine. So I think he's a great default Wolverine, especially when you consider when you're thinking of a default character that you want to have in your collection. I completely feel that one of the bases that you always have to have in mind is not only how does the character look, what are the features of the character that he comes with in relation to your general purpose character you want to fill that gap in. But I think one of the other things that are very important is the price. For him to be a general character in your lineup, they got to fit within, I would say, when it comes to Marvel Legends, being that the standard price brand new of a brand new figure just released is about $25, $24.99. So at $25, that's the norm. I would say maybe you can go up to $30, but beyond that, if it's more than that, you can't consider someone as like your general, mainline piece for your collection, because maybe you can afford to pay that. Maybe you can't justify it because you're like, well, I got so many other characters I want to purchase. So if I'm going to then put this character in the mix and every other character is also $40, $50, I can't really have a collection like that. Whereas if I'm just going to stick to that price range of 25, 30 on the expensive end for the ones I really want, then you can at least say realistically, I can actually make a collection. So that's a little bit of food for thought right there. At least when I make the suggestion to say someone can be part of your main line, everybody's different. But with that being said, you guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. Obviously, whatever it is, put it down below. And I will catch you guys in the next video.